Hello, and welcome back to Retro Games Now. The other day I uploaded this video where I showed you how I installed the X Station on my PS1. It's about an hour long, you can check it out here. But today I wanted to make a little addition to that mod, the in-game reset board by Pyro ESP. What you'll see in this video is the installation of both mods sped up. This is not meant to be a tutorial, but just me sharing my experience working on these mods with you. I'll have timestamps for you to jump around the video if you'd like. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, and leave me a comment of what you think. Check out these other modding videos I have on my channel. Enjoy. My PS1 is the PU18 board. As you can see here, this is where the QSB will live, as I'm showing here. Let's go ahead and install it. So what we need to do here is lightly scratch off the solder mask, clean it off, and apply some no clean flux with some solder. I applied some no clean flux to this point and pre-tinned applying some solder as well. This is one of the anchor points of the QSB, as you can see here. So it's actually 3 anchor points where it is recommended that you start, and you have to align the QSB very well, as you can see here. And we start soldering this point. I realized after the fact that I should have pressed the QSB down when I did this point, but it worked out in the end anyway. Same thing here, apply some no clean flux and solder it down. So I'm pretty much working my way around the QSB. Applying some no clean flux as well, pre-tinning my iron, and coming in making a connection to the main board. I had to clean up the area here because the tin was getting all over the place on the board, so I cleaned it up. This point right here, you're gonna notice the connection doesn't look like it's quite connected, but I came back afterwards to ensure that the solder was connecting to the board, as you can see here. So it took me a couple of tries until it was finally soldered onto the board. Pre-tin my iron and then come in here and solder that point down. This point right here, on my long form video, I had talked about that this point was not making a connection, and this is where you need to be really mindful of the solder how much solder you put down, and to ensure that it's actually connecting to the board underneath. So even though it looked like it was connecting when I first tested the install, it didn't work. And then I came back and I actually tested continuity here, and I realized this point needed more solder, so that it was reworked. So when you're doing this, make sure the connections are complete, are done well between the QSB and the board underneath. Because it can fool you. As you can see, it looks like it's connected, but you have to really apply some heat with the iron and make sure the solder is connecting from one point to the other. These points are fairly easy once you got all the anchor points around the QSB. So all it took was to come in here, apply some no clean flux, and fill in these spaces with solder. It's always important to clean your the tip of your iron every so often, so that it's a clean connection. One more point. We're almost reaching the end of the solder points for the QSB board. And we're done. Now we have to remove this resistor. All I had to do was kind of barely touch it and it came right off. I set it to the side, and you have to make this connection to this oscillator, and you can see that's the resistor that I removed. So I pre-tinned the point where I need to solder my wire, and that's what I'll do next. Also pre-tin the this pad on the QSB board. I apply a little technique here, which is applying heat to the tip of the wire, so the wrapping kind of melts and retracts. It's a little cool technique that I saw. May not be the cleanest. The wire doesn't look so good, but hey. Then once all that is done, I came back and cleaned with a Q-tip and some isopropyl alcohol and cleaned up all the connection points, just so that the no clean flux residue is removed from the board as best as I can. And here is the final product, the QSB soldered onto the backside of the main board. For this part, I'm focusing on this chip, IC701, and it was really simple to lift the pins. Pretty much all you have to do is touch the pad with your iron, and using a toothpick, dental pick, that's what I used. You pretty much come in on the side and sort of lift the pin. It looks like a very difficult procedure, but if you're patient and you just follow a simple instruction of heating the pad and then coming in with the toothpick, it's actually really easy to pull off. Of course, the tip of the iron should be small enough. As you can see here, I'm using the J tip, so this definitely helps. So make sure you're using a fine point tip on your iron to do that. So I removed all the points here, and then came back with the iron to clean the pads, making sure there's no bridging. Now that that's done, I clean the area up, and we're done. Now moving on with the in-game reset installation. This is a board designed by Pyro ESP. This is his GitHub URL if you want to check it out. I got this board from Consoles Unleashed. So it came from the UK. Following the instructions, this is the area where the board should live. And as you can see, it had double-sided tape. So I taped it down here to secure it into place. Now what we proceed to do is pre-tin the pads. As always, is a good practice. That way it's easier to, there's some mass on the pads so that the wires can solder to. Make sure each pad has plenty of solder. I also made sure to pre-tin the points on the main board where the wires are going to connect. So this is also a critical step to apply more solder to these points so that the wires anchor down easily. Okay, so now that we're done pre-tinning everything, same technique applied to the wires. I actually pre-cut same length wires, and then again using heat so that the wire wrapping retracts and melts. That kind of makes it easy. It's a little, you can do it other ways, but you know, I thought for this install, why not give that technique a try. So you come in with your iron, heat up the tin, and then come in with the exposed wire and solder it down. As you can see here, this point needed a little bit more solder, so that's why I put some more tin down. You want to make sure that the wire is pretty locked in. So I kind of pull on it a little bit just to make sure it's soldered down. So now I'm trying to clean up the area here and make the wires look a little bit neat. There's actually a variation of this board where the board is actually redesigned so that you don't have to run wires like I'm doing here. But if you have patience and you sort of have some good wire management, it should look decent enough. So now I'm making the connection for the 3.3 volt line. Now we're going to place the wire for ground, and I believe it was 7 wires. So it's not a difficult install, it's more tedious having to deal with wires. But again, if you're patient and you take it easy, it's a pretty easy job. For this reset wire, the idea was to connect the wire coming out horizontally. So you'll see I sort of applied a little twist to the wire because the reset point is actually to the right side of the board, so that wire actually has to run to the right. So as you can see here, I kind of did a little bend and straighten it out, and actually I passed this wire underneath the other ones. Again, this is all in an effort to make it look clean, make it look a little bit uniform. So it's not pulled taut really that much, it's just sort of at length, at the right length. So I make sure to snip here and then go ahead and make the connection. This little trick is handy if you're precise with your tools. It helps in the step of removing the wire wrapping. Not too proud of how the wire wrapping behaved here. I was applying too much heat and melted the wire wrapping or the plastic much more than I actually wanted to. So at some point I wasn't feeling really good with this technique of heating the wire so that it exposes it and plastic retracts, because at this point it stopped looking decent and it started looking like that. So as you can see, the point where it connects, ideally the plastic should look good up to that point. So that the wire was sort of in control, I used a toothpick to sort of maneuver it. It was challenging, but that's the tool I had. And in some occasions I came back to using the tweezers. I struggled a little bit with this point because the solder was not flowing as I wished. So it took me a couple of tries to get this one right. But you'll see here the solder. I don't know what, if it was the mixture of the original solder on the board and the one that I put on, but yeah, it wasn't flowing really well. So again, being patient and applying more solder, it looked better. All right, and we're almost done. This is the very last wire. Had the same issue here, so I actually cut to the point where I got the solder under control, and I was able to make the connection. Took me a little bit, but here it is. And once I was done connecting all the wires, I just came in with the multimeter in continuity mode to check all the points, and I can confirm to you that all the points were connected correctly. I don't have the audio for this part, unfortunately, but they were connected correctly. Which gave me the assurance that I had completed this installation perfectly. Now I came in with some contact cleaner and wiped down all the surface so that I could get rid of the flux residue. So for this, I used the paintbrush, sprayed it down real well, and brushed all the surface to get rid of all the residue. And it looked pretty good. I did a couple of passes. Here I just applied a little napkin on top to absorb the moisture. But using the right cleaner, you should have no problem. I decided to use Kapton tape to cover it up, just so that there are, no shorts or nothing wrong happens, as this install has all these points exposed. So, and the cuts of the Kapton tape aren't perfect, so it looks a little funny, but that's fine. So here it is. That's the final product. Those are the two installs, the QSB and the in-game reset. And we're done. Let's put the console back up together and start testing. Make sure you snip this post off so that it doesn't pinch the flex cable that you saw me connect on the QSB that goes to the X station. So unfortunately, yes, you have to make that modification to the original case, but it's sacrificial. I hook up everything up and then tighten down the console, and let's check it out. See what we got. All right, so far so good. Oh, so far so good. So let's say we go to Tetris Plus, and let's do fast loading. All right. All right. So we've got Tetris Plus. All right. So let's do a little example. Let's see what happens. Let's do a little simulation here. Let's say that I'm playing a little bit. Let's play for a little bit. Let's do a little simulation. So now I'm playing, right? So there's Tetris Plus. I'm playing. And then let's say that I get sick of playing and I want to play something else. What do I need to do? All right, so I'm going to press L2, R2. Ooh, nice. There's a reset, in-game reset. You saw that? That's awesome. I pressed L2, R2, start and select. And it resets X station. And it brings me back to... Oh, but it brings me back to that menu. To the same game, but I want it... Wait. No, I don't want that. Let's try. Okay, I've got Siphon Filter playing, and I just noticed on the website, I forgot to mention, the combination that I mentioned is short reset pulse. Short reset pulse, which is press and hold together, L2, R2, start and select. But there's a long reset pulse, which is press and hold controller buttons together, L2, R2, select, and cross. Oh, L2, R2, select, and cross. Ooh, there it is. That's the reset that I needed. That's exactly the reset that I needed. Perfect. Yes, that's how you reset the X station to its menu. There it is. That's awesome. That's perfect. Let's do Tetris Plus again. I'm going to fast load. It's going to fast load into Tetris Plus. Yeah, I forgot to read that part about the long reset pulse. So let's do the simulation once again. So it's starting. And it doesn't specify for how long you have to hold it. It just says press and hold together. Press and hold controller buttons together. L2, R2, select, and cross. It says this will reset back to the game select menu for X Station and PSIO. All right, so let's run a little simulation, like I did before. Let's say that I'm playing Tetris Plus. Let's play a little demo of Tetris Plus. And then, so I'm playing Tetris Plus. And then I say, to hell with Tetris Plus, I want to play something else. L2, R2, select. and cross. And it's going to reset to the main menu. Wow, that's amazing. That is fantastic. That is sweet. There it is. So there it is, guys. I figured it out. It was the wrong combination of buttons. Again, there's a short pulse and a long pulse. And the short one, which is L2, R2, select and start, it just resets the game you're in already. But if you want to go back to this menu, you have to hit L2, R2, select and cross. And it brings you right back here, so you can select another game and continue your gaming session. So beautiful, excellent mods. And yeah, just wanted to make sure that this was in the video so y'all could see it. It's a very, very cool mod. So for all you modders out there for retro consoles, if you haven't done this mod to your PS1 or these two mods, I highly recommend them. Yeah, go to Stone Age Gamer. There is where you can find for sure a X Station, and then go to Consoles and Unleashed for the in-game reset. Again, this is not sponsored. I bought them with my own money, but those are the two places I know for sure you can get these mods. So all I'm doing is redirecting you to those places. Yeah, so thanks again, and I'll see you guys in the next video.